With only 5 days left until lawmakers go on another month-long recess, what is the current state of negotiations today? Well, the fact that the White House and President Donald Trump are saying that they are considering a unilateral decision to continue the stimulus program on their own should tell you all you need to know. I'm going to talk about that right after this. Welcome back, everybody. This is your stimulus update for Monday, August 3rd. To say that negotiations aren't in a good place right now is a severe understatement. Democratic negotiators like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are not finding much agreement with Republican negotiators Steven Mnuchin and Mark Meadows. And now the White House and President Donald Trump is saying if they can't figure it out, if they don't get their act together, we will unilaterally do something ourselves. That's something they're going to do. Well, we don't really know what they're gonna do, but they're gonna do something. This was first reported by the Washington Post and picked up by all the other news agencies. And here it is from the Washington Post, as reported by Forbes. According to the Washington Post report, the Trump administration is looking at unilateral action or wielding executive powers to bypass Congress and write something into law to mitigate economic damage from the coronavirus crisis. So what are your thoughts on that? I'm going to share you mine in just a moment. This is basically like the executive branch, the executive powers, looking at the legislative powers and saying, hey, their job is to create laws. When the economy needs it, the American people need it, the United States needs it, they make the laws that get us through the tough times. And right now, they're unable to do that. They're at a stalemate. Nobody's agreeing with each other. So you know what? The legislative branch, it's falling apart. Here's the executive branch to come to the rescue. Now, unfortunately, the executive branch is not allowed to come to the rescue when the legislative branch isn't working. The executive branch is only there to enforce the laws, not to create the laws. However, there are tricky little ways around that. During emergency situations like a national emergency or an economic emergency, the President of the United States can make a declaration of emergency, and this can give him additional powers in which he can say, you know what, we're going to continue the stimulus program in this way. Unfortunately, we don't know exactly how he can continue it. Can he send off checks to the American people? I don't think so. Can he continue the unemployment boost? No, not really. Can he stop payroll taxes from being collected? Maybe, but not sure about that. Here's my opinion. I don't like it. Even if it's a good thing, even if people need more help and more stimulus payments and more money in their own pockets, if the Congress and the legislative branch can't get their act together, I think it's worse if the executive branch finds loopholes in order to give itself more power to create and continue stimulus programs. This is a bad precedent for the future and should not be utilized. It is a bad situation that Congress right now is in a stalemate and cannot figure out how to get another stimulus program passed. It would be a worse situation if the executive branch and President Donald Trump brought it upon itself to find a loophole and say, we're going to give ourselves powers we don't normally have to continue a stimulus program to aid the American people. That is something we do not want, even if it's a good thing, because it sets up a bad precedent. There is a reason in the United States of America that we have 3 branches of government to separate powers. Even when something looks good, we don't want one branch to be able to unilaterally do that. And although there might be some sort of way that the president can do this, I think it's a bad idea. So what is a good idea? Continue the negotiations. Steven Mnuchin, Mark Meadows, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and their staffers continue to get together every single day, and they have been at least 6 out of the last 7 days. They've been getting together, negotiating. Continue it today, tomorrow, the next day, and keep going until you get your job done. The Senate needs to not go on recess. You need to go ahead and vote on it and pass it through, and you need to compromise. Figure out a solution. Democrats, $3.4 trillion. Stop it. Too much money. Negotiate down. Get rid of some of the pork. Get rid of some of the high numbers. Republicans, $1 trillion. We're in the middle of the worst pandemic we've ever seen. We're seeing some of the worst unemployment figures we've ever seen, ever. Unemployment numbers are going up right now. So we need to get our act together and pass something. And if we can't, you stay there and you work. And you know what? If you don't, there is a little thing called an election coming up in November. So get your act together. Let's do it the right way by the branch of government that has the power to get it done. And when they get this thing voted on and passed, then the President of the United States can do his thing and sign the bill. not declare an emergency economic power to find a loophole to continue stimulus programs in his own way, unilaterally bypassing the Congress. I say no. But what says you? And also, a new thing I put together is a merchandising site through Teespring, which is the only third party that works directly with YouTube. So they are extremely reputable. You can feel safe and secure going to that site and looking at the merchandising store I put together. You'll see some of the designs right here, because you know what? In 10 years from now, we're going to get through this thing, this pandemic, this stimulus issue, and you're going to want something in your house to commemorate what's going on. And what better way to commemorate it than with some merchandise created by According to Vin. We've been lowering the prices on everything. There's mugs and t-shirts and masks there. So we've been lowering them as low as we can really get them. In addition, we put in a discount coupon code. So if you go through and look at the different designs, at the end, if you put in A2V15, they're going to give you an additional 15% off. And also 10% of the sales, we're going to give that money directly to different charity organizations. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a link below. Go ahead and click on it. Look at the different products. See if there's something you like. I'm not trying to make any political statements, by the way. There's one meme there that kind of supports Trump, but there's also another meme that supports Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats. So I'm not trying to lean on one side or the other, but I think you might find that one of them is something really interesting that you're like, you know what? I do want to kind of commemorate what's going on. I want to be able to remember it. And if there's a little young one on the way in your family 8 years from now, when they see that mug and they say to you, what is that all about? You'll be able to tell them a story. I think you'll really enjoy. So go ahead and check it out. I hope you guys found this information valuable. I want to know, do you agree with me on my stance about Donald Trump using executive powers to continue the stimulus program on his own? Or do you disagree with me and say, hey, Vin, anything that can get done, no matter how it happens, it should happen? I'd like to know your thoughts below in the comment section. As always, if you enjoy this sort of information, consider subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you guys come along with us. I will catch you next time.